the Greater Clark County School Board of Trustees, April 9th, 2024, meeting to order. Ms. Markowski, if you please note that all board members are present and accounted for, and if you will, please stand with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, can't find it. It's not Motown. I would be Motown.
I can say like that.
Enya. Somebody, I don't know who it was.
All right, so our first, come on, all right, I will, the first item would be the approval of the agenda, and board members would approve the agenda as presented. Could I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Received any questions or comments? If all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Next item would be the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. I motion that we approve those as well. Could I please have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Any questions or comments or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I believe we have any public comments? Breaks my heart. Next item would be major fund money report.
Good evening, Mr. President, respected members of the board. I'm coming to you with the first quarter end of our financial position of March 31st. And as you can clearly see, we go straight right down to the heart of things. In the education fund, you see that we're doing $2 million better than this year than we were last year. And the one that you usually capture, we're doing way better in our operations at this point. This includes the 3 payrolls in March as well. So in 22, we were in the red, 203,000. Right now, we're positive $1,098,000. So congratulations to you on that. You can see the other funds that we have increased our cash balance, so stay pretty consistent. Those 3 are affected every June and December. We are seeing an adjustment inside of our state funding, but yet to still see the adjustment for technical rep, where that's actually going to appear in that funding. So our enrollment did increase February, and so we're starting to see some of those adjustments when we send real-time reports every week. And the final adjustment should come in May and June, so we'll see that influx come in to handle the transfer from operations to education. Confident in where this budget stands in the first quarter, and I'll probably be very confident in June, which is important because that's when we start the budget season. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain that this evening.
Lord. Okay, we're good with that. We should move on to the perfections group update. Little jazz hands.
Motown.
Good evening. I'll take that.
Sure.
Thank you. You have a better control than I do. Thank you once again. One thing I have learned is that brevity is soul, and so we will try to be as quick as possible, but I think you got a lot of good stuff in here, so I will hit the highlights. That's why we gave it in the magazine format, so you can refer to it as a piece of reference material going forward. So here, that's us, okay? I might note that it was approximately 3 years ago today when you approved our RFP to enter into an agreement with you to be your facility solutions provider. That's 3 years ago. And we had 3 months to prepare for the July 1st. When that all started, only the 4 people on the top of that page were actively involved with you. The good news is we're all still 4 actively involved with you. And we thank you for that. As you know, Chris is the on-site guy. I'm Dad. And Nick and Andrew, as you well know, are my sons. And they are both presidents of our green and our facility service division. So they really have the control over this business model as it is today. I may have some influence, but I don't have the control anymore. I like to focus on the bottom part of it, because when we started this thing in July of 2021, we didn't have that. And so we dedicated Amy to full-time as being that facility person on site every day, and she is here every day. We soon found Terry, and Terry was very familiar with the district as well, and she's on site every day. And she sits upstairs on the second floor too with Chris, and Amy sits down there at the Federal Center, and they're the ones that are behind the scenes making sure all the work gets done on a day-to-day basis. The third piece of that is we stole Alex Hunt from Fayette County Schools after being in the district 14 years as a principal and as an administrator in Fayette County School District in Cincinnati. And we have just assigned him as your project executive. So he will be here full-time, working with Andrew and Nick and Chris to make sure all the projects, because this construction is getting started, as you well know. And he's going to be that liaison between Perfection, Greater Clark, and our collaborative partners, Haggard and Core and Skillman. So we felt that need to have him at an executive level. So he couldn't be here this evening, but he will be that executive contact.
He was here today. And he was here.
He's here a lot. Now, if I had the foresight, and I won't blame anybody, but I'm going to put the emphasis on Andrew here and Nick. We've had an intern here for the last 3 summers. He's a mechanical engineering student. And Ryan Albee has been here every summer working on projects for Greater Clark. He's graduated in May with this degree in mechanical engineering from Western Kentucky University. And sometime within the next week, we will be sending him an offer to be that other liaison for Greater Clark, working directly under Alex Hunt. So we will actually have 2 project people in place to make sure construction works. Okay? With that, Terry, you're up. I'm kidding.
Yeah, next slide here. These are our 4 pillars of business at Perfection Group. When we started 3 years ago, we came in under the Total Facility Solutions pillar of our business, where we obviously looked at the facilities from the custodial, maintenance, and HVAC side, and landscaping. Since then, Greater Clark actually touches all 4 of our pillars, with the mechanical design build, as far as that goes, our construction side, with the new buildings. Our service and maintenance is what we do every day, from the HVAC side all the way through all the general maintenance, keeping the equipment and everything operational and the buildings comfortable. And then lastly, the green solution side, which we've done projects through ESSER, roofing, and a lot of sustainable construction. So Greater Clark touches all of those. Keep moving on here.
Got it again.
Yeah, so page 6, real quick, Nick touched on most of these. Outside some of those services that are the day-to-day maintenance requirements to keep the facilities clean and healthy, we also support our trade partners with engineering, mechanical design, capital planning, facility planning, construction design, energy efficiency, and other consultations. So we really touch the facilities from the 30-year-old buildings all the way to the ones that are being constructed today.
Well, board, thank you for having us again here. And, a lot of these numbers that we are going to go over and that I want to look at down in the metrics, what we've talked about before, but, they've increased over the years since we've been here. One of the numbers that I do want to talk about is not only are those, the 4 of us that have been here, but the 3 people that we added on, and the other person is, behind the scenes, probably another 150, 200 people in our company that touch this account. In fact, one of the numbers that you see here is over 20,000 hours of project development hours and engineering hours that is done behind the scenes that we do on a day-to-day basis by our engineers and all of our, from Cincinnati to also Louisville. The square footage we know, some of these numbers that are just staggering, things that we do are 36,900 hours of HVAC hours work. We track those. And over 37,200 filters that we've changed in the 3 years that we've been here. So 37,000 since, and that's, so pretty much that's what we do. We have people dedicated to changing filters full time. So we have a crew, and a lot of them, Cody, who If anybody heard, I know Cody, I know there was word of Cody being sick, he is doing a lot better. I did want to throw that out there. He did go through some health issues, and if anybody, I did want to let everybody know he was doing a lot better. So, but we've increased the numbers from day one. We came in, Tony said we started in July. Remember back, we actually came in April because we lost about half of the custodians up front, so we had to come in early, find some people, and now we're up to, we're 88 custodians on staff, 6 HVAC technicians, 14 landscapers, 6 general maintenance, and then the 3 administrative people that we have on staff here every day. I know, Tony, this is you. I want to talk about some of the actual contractual stuff that we've done, and Tony can talk about this aspect on the next page.
That page there is just a benchmark page. So if you look at that, it really just tells you where we started, where we are, and how we got to where we are today. So it tells us when our agreement started in July of 2021, where we were in May of 22. There were some additional responsibilities we didn't have under the scope of work that we picked up, and that was mainly managing subcontractors that you were managing that we had to take over. And so we picked up some additional there. And after that, we had your board, the board and your administrator had a great idea. How are we going to keep those 4 schools running through the construction period? And so they had the great idea, how can we do that? And they sat down with us, Laura and Mark, and we decided we're going to put that under the same contract that we have today. So we added those 4 schools that you don't have any comfort issues, and if the equipment has to be replaced, we replace it under the contract. So we put that in there just as a stepping stone to make sure that things ran properly for those schools. And I don't think we've had many comfort issues at all, have we?
No. We have grown some, because those are the 4 schools that realistically, probably 2 or 3 of those schools, the only way to fix them properly would be to replace everything. So that's where we came up with this, to keep it going on our dime as long as possible till we were able to, or on a conjoined effort or a new contract.
So, yeah, instead of spending money replacing and repairing a lot of that, we purchased a lot of temporary units, which aren't, great to be in the classroom, but it's better than putting money towards equipment that's going to be demoed. So we bought a significant amount of those to keep the buildings comfortable.
And we can use it in the future.
Yeah, they can keep them in the district moving forward, so.
Then we had another addendum that we were looking at doing to pick up some inflationary increases, because you remember, we were right in the middle of COVID when this thing started. And not only COVID, remember the supply chain issues we had where we couldn't get things? And inflationary increases went through the roof, especially with the supply that we had. We proposed that, we put it on hold for a while, and then addendum 4 was, we had these new buildings adding on, Utica, Riverside, North Haven, and some of the Jeff High. So we added 2 additional full-time equivalent people, and that was addendum 4. And then moving forward in July, we'll have everything put together to come back to you and let you know what we're going to be doing. Does that make sense?
Real quickly, not a lot of time on this, page 9, you can see we did get 4 schools Energy Star certified this year. We believe we're going to get 6 more certified in 2024-25 when it's reopened. But yeah, kudos to you guys, all the improvements you made in schools, the health of the schools, and how they are performing efficiently. They're in the top 25% of schools in the nation.
That's 4, right?
Yeah, we got 4, likely 6 more in 2024-25.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So we'll have plaques and we'll present those soon.
And that does so much more than just your certification that you get. That's, less maintenance on the equipment because they're running more efficiently, saving you all money on utilities, everything. So there's a lot that goes along with that. Which going into the next item is what you see up here on pages 10 and 11. These are some of the things that we work on every year. Mark has the fortitude to have that 5-year plan and that rolling 5-year plan into place. And him and Laura and the entire administration staff have worked very hard to, put these into place, to come up with a way to really get out of that hole of where we had all these issues to now, if you see here on the first 2 pages paving, we are officially now at this point caught up on paving. You see no red, everything in green has been done, everything in yellow is projected and already approved for this year. So one of the things that we're going to be doing now is you'll see with like the administration building. Well, the administration building in Utica, we're just going to be now refurbishing what we've already done. We're going to be able to upkeep rather than having to replace and remill. So if we, by upkeeping, the cost is down, the length of the actual asphalt will, and will actually.
Extend the life of it.
Yeah, extend the life, and visually too, with fresh painting every few years and so on. We're going to do that at several schools this year. So now we are on a maintenance program on the paving. The only thing left that we will do next year, and that Mark's already brought up and looking forward to, is a complete audit of the entire district on sidewalks and curbs. So that's really the only thing that's left. But the paving itself is now on a maintainable budget, or a maintainable program. The next program you'll see, roofing, or the next page you'll see on page 12. We also maintain and working on a plan to keep that roofing situation under the same type of plan where we're just maintaining it versus having to replace it. And with this, that's a little bit bigger of a project than paving, a little bit more costly. There's a lot more to it, but you can already see how much is actually done. The Charlestown Elementary School and the Pike Elementary School, those are the new schools. We'll be working on those. And then the Jeffersonville High School Natatorium and the Parkwood Elementary, those are already approved. So those are all in the program that you see. But the other two at the very bottom, Jeffersonville High School, there's a new section that we're doing. And then also Riverside Elementary, we've actually already completed the shingles. We did that over spring break and now only have one flat part on top of the gym that we've got to complete there. Yes?
What does LLW mean in the warranty?
Limited lifetime warranty. That's a
Yes.
shingle warranty. Yeah.
Okay.
So in my knock on wood, Riverside shingles are still on after that's gone. There's a lot of places around here with no shingles. It's unbelievable. But Riverside, where they're all on there. It's 80,000 square foot, so it's a lot of shingles.
So you'll see, we have a program where every one of these will be able to keep track of the warranties. And we have a warranty program that will keep these roofs anytime if there is anything. They've already been out. We've had a small leak here and there, fixed immediately, and now no more issues. So, yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of interject here. So the board and Mark has gotten the district in a position where doesn't matter what happens 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 35 years from now, whoever walks into this district will not face 22 buildings of trying to tackle this. You see, this warranty schedule is designed out for the next 40 years, that if you wanted to keep $1.10 to do roof replacements, you will be able to attain that in a chewable manner. To bite off what we bit off to get this done, you have approved the bonds to do that. So now your roofs will not be neglected over a very long lifetime. So when you take a look at the years installed and add the years of warranty, you're going to see that there's not, all of them are going to be done the same year. It will be on a replacement routine. So that is the charge when we are building new buildings, what type of material we put on there. They don't just say, this is what we're gonna do. They take a look at this to say, in 30 years, this is what we're gonna put on this roof. What's going on? If it's too many, if the budget can allow you to go here or here, a little bit less or a little bit more years, we're working in on that. So it's not just giving a roof estimate out. That's not what we're doing. We're building the long-term lasting effect on these buildings. So no one can say that we did not maintain the building, right? Because that's what we said, we're catching up from years and years and years of no maintenance and no plan. We're building a plan long after probably my death. Probably just say that out loud. Don't want you to think about that way, but it could be, you never know. But that was important to me because the one thing that if we were gonna go through this process, I certainly didn't want anybody to ever have to worry about that experience. And, living here, we all live here, you may not want to be who you are now, but you're still gonna be here. And you wanna know that you're handing this off in a good position. So So that way it is responsible. They're responsible for that. So that's the full key to this whole plan that they're doing. All the preventative maintenance, all these replacement plans is to look into the future. We don't just take care of today. We're not just patchworking today. We're taking care of the future, so.
Thank you, Laura. And we'll wrap it up. I just got, one of the things that you don't see is HVAC. There's still more HVAC to do. We came in with a very high number in the very, very beginning through several of the facility audits. We have knocked a lot of the larger items off of that. Cooling towers, chillers, things like that, where we needed those replacements. Now we're able to more so put those onto more of a planning. We know they're going to need to be replaced, but they're not falling apart where we need to replace it or we could run into risk in a lot of those situations.
And just a second, Chris, there, and also at this point, everything on the facilities is our responsibility from the HVAC side, according to our contract. And everything at this point is running efficiently and operational. So if something does happen, I know we had a repair, we just finished a repair on the centrifugal chiller at Jeff High. It was about 25 grand that we just finished that, which was our responsibility to keep that running. So everything right now, when we look, there's really no HVAC in here. Everything right now is operational and our responsibility, and the risk is moved over to us. And as we go out 5 and 10 years, we'll see that number change as things come out of their useful life and ASHRAE. So just an update on HVAC.
And the last thing, we all know how important curb appeal is. We deal with the landscaping. We do projects every year. This year, we're doing a lot of smaller projects, a lot of new plants, some landscaping, we'll redo mulch, everything. So we'll freshen up the schools every year, and that's something that we do. But then we'll do like 1 year, the Utica roses that we did that 1 year. So last year we did, outside of Charlestown Middle School, there were some plants out there, and so that's we've got a few small ones on the plan for this year. And then Andrew wanted to finish up with the
last page. Obviously, there's construction going on. Everyone's aware of that. Our job is to support the professionals that are helping construct these awesome buildings. We do that in a lot of ways through help design, implementation, but we're very invested in the four big projects that are going on currently. You can see there in the list below, we have done hundreds of small day-to-day projects to keep the classroom optimal, comfortable, healthy. Those aren't listed on here, but you've also done a lot of great work with the ESSER project, major roof replacements, which Laura alluded to, mechanical renovations, just to get your deferred situation under control, and you've done a great job of that. So we do a lot of construction, some of that's direct, some of that's through our trade partners, but that's all we got. We appreciate the opportunity to talk today.
One last thing. I stood up here 3 years ago and I told you there were 4 C's that we were addressing, and you all agreed that they were the 4 things we needed to do. Number one was we had to communicate effectively. I can't think of another customer in my 40 years of business where we've had such positive and open communication. The second one was comfort. Comfort was a priority of yours to make sure that these students were in a comfortable, and your administrative staff and everybody was in a comfortable learning environment. We've gotten there. We have work to do, but we've gotten there. The third thing was cleanliness. Let's face it, starting out wasn't the easiest task. It was difficult getting people, it was difficult getting things done, but cleanliness was always addressed. No matter what we did, we missed something, we always wanted to clean it. So we hope everything is clean. And the 4th C was a continuous improvement. And it's very rare for me to stand up here and to address and applaud the efforts, but your board and your teams have been absolutely phenomenal in the direction in which you're taking this district, and I applaud you all. Thank you very much. Any questions?
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate your diligence and your presentation that we'd like to see there. Things a little track. So we got I was part of the deferred maintenance during the water plan, so I understand that the garbage cans all around the building is tough. Takes a kid, At any rate, did I say that? At any rate, the next item will be our consent agenda as presented to the board. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. So do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments?
I have a comment. I just want to go back and thank the board and the administration for letting us put the things in the consent agenda, for letting the leaders that we put in the district lead, and for Dr. Hartland, she's not here today, but for allowing her to do those things as administration so we don't have to go through and, I mean, seeing this many things on the consent agenda, I mean, we go through it, of course, but it's amazing, so. She's in a conference line more, so she can do more things on the consent agenda. Nice. Yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Okay, moving right along here, gifts to buildings, would you care to help us, please?
I would love to. A little light, maybe because of spring break, but Charleston Middle School, Jeff High, and Parkwood Elementary each had one. Jeffersonville FOP Lodge 100. Thank you so much for your $1,000 donation to the athletic department baseball and softball. And then JHS AFJROTC received $150 from Sons of American Legion, and our Greater Clark Education Foundation gave $250 for the Inclusion Fair. I move that we accept these gifts to buildings, the amount of $1,400.
Thank you. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Burton. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Thank you. Next item would be the PERF resolution. How are you?
Hello, I'm well, how are you?
I'm fine. Spring break wonderful?
It was wonderful.
I do it, 10 days.
Okay, so the first thing I have is the PERF resolution. In July of 2018, we adopted a PERF resolution requiring all new classified staff members to be enrolled in the PERF My Choice plan as a cost savings measure. Now that the corporation's financial situation has significantly improved, we would like to give classified staff members the option of enrolling in the PERF My Choice or the PERF Hybrid plan. The hybrid option will allow for both the savings portion and a pension. Meetings will be held with all of our current employees that are affected by this so that we can explain the options to them. And with that being said, we would like for this to take effect on July 1st, 2024 with your approval.
Board, I move to approve the new PERF resolution as presented for classified staff. Do I please have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments from Ms. Felton?
Glad to do it.
Me too.
Absolutely. Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Thank you so much. Next, resolution approving record retention schedule.
Okay, so the current records retention schedule was approved on July 10th, 2018. The attached schedules have been updated and streamlined considerably by the Indiana Oversight Committee on Public Records. It was done about a year or so. It took some time to go through all of those and cross-reference everything, as you can imagine, and then we had some change in staff and things. But anyway, tonight we're bringing to you the new records along with the new retention schedule that we plan to share with staff and the new notice of destruction that we're required to file. So with that, we would like to ask for your approval of the new documents for record retention.
Board, do I have a motion for?
Mr. President, I recommend approval. I move that we approve the revised records
Thank you.
as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Do you have any questions or comments from Ms. Felton?
It sounds like an awful lot of work.
It's very time consuming. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, no other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Okay, the resolution for supplemental payments.
Okay.
You're on.
I am. The supplemental payment attached is to request a payment for an additional building leadership team to represent the ELL team at Parkwood. This payment has been discussed with Samantha Pierce, and we are asking for your approval at this time.
We're going to have a motion for that approval.
I move to approve the supplemental payments.
Thank you, Ms. Hess.
Second.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The next item on the agenda, Hagerman, contract with Parkwood Elementary.
This is Mary Payne. With the Hagerman Group, they were able to take the designs that were done by J. Lake and Ratio, conduct the bids. We tediously and very thankfully criticized, analyzed, and did everything we could on this Parkwood, and so they have come up with a guaranteed maximum price for the construction because they are the CMC contractor. So this is their contract to build Parkwood and manage that for us. And this is part of the bonds that we have already received. So this is the contract to the guaranteed maximum price between Greater Clark and Ackerman, who is the CMC for the new Parkwood Elementary School. The budget and timelines are enclosed. And the contracts for Perfection Group, who conducted the bids for the roofing HVAC, will follow under a separate number. I recommend that the board approve the GMP agreement between Greater Clark and Ackerman for the new Parkwood Elementary School building project.
Thank you. Board, I move that we approve the GMP agreement contract for Parkwood Elementary School. Can I please have a second? Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Do we have any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? All right, moving right along, roofing contract for Perfection Group in Parkwood Elementary.
Just as we have with all of our other projects, this is a cost-saving measure in our projects that we're able to build. And because of the partnership that we've had and you went through, this is where their engineering comes in at, a very, very cheap cost. Thousands of hours, not just on new projects, but they are taking a look at, when we need something in a building, have assessed, we have them come on because they're that partner that promised to do that and take care of these buildings. So for each one of these, they conduct bids for this, for whatever we ask them for. So for the roofing, for Parkwood Elementary, they conducted bids. They were very excited because they did receive a really good turnout. That sign means this, that people are paying attention to what Greater Clark's doing. They believe in who we're hiring to manage these kind of things when you get those kind of bidders. Now, does everybody get to win? No. But at least everybody is wanting to be with us and give us the best product. So the maximum guaranteed price with them, which it does include contingency, because every once in a while we get to a certain point and we want to change it. Oh, we'd rather have X, Y, Z. Then we just we're able to handle it. In the event that we don't use contingency, if we come in under budget, that's fantastic. So that's what I look for. So the maximum guaranteed price is $2,034,000 for the roofing at the new Parkwood Elementary building project. It is my recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve the roofing contract with Perfection for the new Parkwood Elementary building project.
Board, do I have a motion for that approval?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do we have a second? Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Any questions or comments? I just have one question. Contingencies 10%.
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's just good. Okay.
Sometimes, depending on what projects I'm doing, I may just set a set amount because we could be changing or unknowns. So if we're doing something in a building that is not new, sometimes I say we probably increase that if I can handle it budget-wise. Otherwise, their work with me is a lot different because they want to make sure that whatever I can handle, I can handle.
Right.
And they know I won't pull the trigger unless I do that. So there's a lot of conversations about that kind of deal. So,
Okay.
Generally, I will say this, so far, our projects with the reservations and contingencies, we are trending to come under budget. But remember, we've had this escalation in price, the economy has driven that up.
Sure.
We having, folks, all the different folks that are bidding around the state of Indiana have been privy to quick, first-hand pricing. So when they're pricing things throughout the state, like other buildings that are being built, we're being told all the time. Of course, they're doing it all over the United States, so where do we get the information of when we know that we anticipate something that's gonna go up, can we get a commitment, a purchase order so we can lock into? That happens with our HVAC. So their trends come to them quickly when they hear that we're about to enter into an HVAC project and we know that prices will go up on a certain date, they're talking to me. And we're working on getting that all handled so that way we get that best price instead of feeling that increase. So, because we know what those increases have been. So coming to that, then we do have a $5.9 million contract up for the HVAC. This was not shocking to the Hagerman team, was not shocking to the Skillman team, and not to core team about how HVAC prices, because they are pricing around the state. The mechanicals, anything with metal, let me just say, just seems like, phew, that's what's going on.
Not shocking to me.
That's correct. Yeah, electrical panels, electricity. So they're working really hard on those trade partners to make sure that whatever we gotta do to lock in those prices, to avoid the price increase that we're doing that. So it's my recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve the HVAC and mechanical contract with Perfection in Greater Clark for the new Parkwood Elementary
Wait,
project.
do we go for
I
the
think we.
roof?
No, we're still on the one before we get-
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm
We're trying to
sorry.
save our money, bro.
I was just,
I have 2 million on the roof, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm with you, you just need a vote.
I know, I just,
I thought they didn't get that.
thought you did.
Yes,
Okay,
question.
all in favor of the approval of the roofing contract for Perfection for Parkwood Elementary, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
See,
And
you're
now,
paying attention.
now,
Now it's yours.
yeah, and that whole HVA thing,
Yes, I did wouldn't do that, so now.
I just want to make a motion.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do now.
I'll second that motion.
Did I do that, Johnny, Katie? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go.
Yeah, any questions or comments about the HVAC contract for Perfection Group for Parkwood Elementary? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
I suppose you can't tell I'm pretty sad.
Thank you. I'm just sorry, she's on a roll.
I'm getting started, so thank you very much.
Thank you. It comes to that wonderful time tonight where I need a motion for adjournment.
Are you going around this? Are we going to have comments?
No, not kidding.
Mr. Jones, would you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, thanks to the Perfection Group for the presentation, and I always enjoy seeing those presentations at the meetings, so thank you all. That's it.
Yeah, I want to thank Laura and Ms. Mark and the board for making this so proactive instead of reactive. I feel like we're in a much better place.
I just want to mention that I know with commencement coming up next month, the month prior, with my wife, and then also with this district as well, this is that time for fundraising events. I know we have Champions for Children, IUS Lights there, Medallion Dinner. Please support public education in your local universities, please, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
That's
Mr. State?
tonight.
Nothing tonight.
Yes, shout out to the Jeff High percussion band. They came in second in the state just this past weekend. Didn't know if anybody knew that. That is an awesome and huge, huge accolade to achieve, even with a school our size. Thank you. Great.
I was going to say that.
I'm sorry. I got a freshman to the band. I got
Thank you.
I don't have anything to say, just I want this last 9 weeks to go well for the teachers and students, and again, it's a celebration, the breakup of what goes on in this kids' routine. I know it's difficult, so kudos to the teachers, administrators, and it's out really well. Looking forward to it.
I want to thank our vendors, and we have some really good vendors, great vendors that we work with, whether it's Perfections or Hagerman or Skillman or Core, with the Airmark, you can go down the line, good people that do great work for us, so thank you for what you're doing with us. And also, Nate and I were talking earlier, we came to the realization that here in about 2 months, we're going to have a little over 400,000 square feet under construction. New construction. That's a lot of square foot being built. So Nate's going to be busy.
He's already busy.
He's going to sit in a lot of construction meetings. And then also next week, remember, just a reminder, on the 17th, we have the groundbreaking for the dance floor at Jeff High. And then on the 19th, we have the groundbreaking for Parkwood Elementary. So hopefully everybody can attend that via, hopefully that's right.
I'm gonna shine my shovel, they didn't let me take that shiny shovel away. I'm gonna bring it on, take nothing away.
Thank you.
Renee? Okay, board, can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.